Perception has it that obstetric fistula is common in marginalized communities and poverty-stricken communities. However, obstetric fistula can affect any woman of childbearing age, irrespective of their social status. I caught up with one such lady who, despite delivering her baby in a leading hospital here in the country, still got fistula. Tonight, Sharon Korir, who is a lawyer, teacher, and now founder Save a Woman Fistula Foundation, shares her journey to recovery and how reconstructive surgery saved her from stigma and shame. The theme for this year's International Day to End Obstetric Fistula is Women's Rights Are Human Rights. End fistula now. And today I'm very pleased to be talking to a lady that proudly calls herself a fistula survivor. Sharon Korir, thank you so much for talking to us today. Under what circumstances did you get fistula?
I had fistula, Lillian, in 2017 after the delivery of my second baby. Yeah, so of course at that time I didn't know I had fistula. I didn't even know what fistula is. So I went to hospital just like any other mother to deliver her baby, and I was induced. Yeah. So sadly the doctor came in late, so I labored for so long, got prolonged labor, got tired, baby got tired, baby came out forcefully. Yeah, baby tore my vagina all the way to the rectum, so there was a hole. Yeah, so you'd see that that hole distorted the muscles, so I couldn't hold urine, I couldn't hold feces. And also there was an interchange of organs.
And yet this happened during the birth of your second child. So this is your second delivery. First time round, you did not experience the same.
Imagine this is my second child. I had had an experience before. Then there's a change. I'm discharging urine, I'm discharging feces. I can't hold, my sanitary towels are all soaked up with urine and feces. A difference compared to the first baby, because there's that normal discharge that you normally get when you have a baby and all that. But this was a totally different experience. So at that point, I was in hospital for about 21 days because my son had issues with bilirubins. So of course, going up and about, saying the nursery, breastfeeding, pumping my breast milk, it was so overwhelming. I didn't really concentrate much on myself. So after 21 days when we released, we went home, is when I realized my body is not fine.
So the doctors discharged you from hospital with your newborn child. How is it that they could not tell that there was an issue that required surgical attention?
But my doctor didn't even notice a difference, because at some point I called him and he told me, no, we did the stitching after delivery, you're fine. Maybe you need to keep doing Kegels and exercises and you'll be fine. So most of these doctors sadly are not trained personnel. They're very handful of surgeons who are trained for fistula work.
How long did the fistula persist?
I stayed in that condition for about 6 weeks. And Lillian at some point actually thought I had lost it, like psycho, because I thought maybe I'm going through postnatal depression. And then what is this smell that is around my space? Is it that I've lost it? Is it that, and normally in pregnancy we have an issue with the smell and scent. So I wondered, is it postnatal? So I figured that this is not fine. After 6 weeks of continuous Kegels, my body was not going back to normal. I'm still releasing the discharge of urine and feces. And of course, I was isolated. I'm a typical sanguine Lillian. I didn't want visitors around my space. I didn't even want my family to know what was going on, because I didn't even know who will I tell that, what, I'm leaking urine and feces. It's a bit difficult in this African culture. So I just stayed aloof, maintained my cool, very discreet life at that season, until about 6 weeks later is when I told my sister-in-law about it. Yeah, I told my sister-in-law, she's a nurse in Kenyatta. I gave her a call, I told her I think I'm sick. So she told me they normally comes in Kenyatta Hospital.
Now, at the time you were going through the incontinency, right within your home environment, what did you experience in terms of reactions, perhaps from family members, perhaps from people around you?
I can tell you for a fact there's a bit of tension even in marriage, because it completely affects your sexual life, totally. And then again, you've just given birth. What is it that you're smelling? Is it that you're untidy, you're unkempt? Is it that you have let loose because you have a baby, So those are the things that, there's a bit of tension and friction here and there before we finally realize that it is fistula.
Take us through the treatment process. Where did you go?
I went to Kenyatta and I did the screening, and yes, I was told I have rectovaginal fistula. Then from then on, of course, I had to be told that I need to do a corrective surgery. So I did the procedure, and yes, the process is painful. The healing is painful, Lillian, very painful procedure. And then having in mind that the same organs still have to do their, do their functions. You have to still release your urine, you have to do, your stool. So you're prone to a lot of infections. So swabs of antibiotics, a lot of painkillers. Yeah, and every weekly consultation with the doctor, very expensive, but yes, yeah, we thank God for healing. Then, Lillian, I will tell you there's also an aspect of mental healing, yeah, because you're traumatized. You have, being smelling, you don't know what it is, weighs you down, you begin to isolate, you begin to have low self-esteem, to a point where now regaining it back is a process. Then again, after the surgery, you're asking yourself, will I be able to satisfy my husband sexually or my spouse or partner or boyfriend?
Is the corrective surgery an affordable procedure?
Lillian, approximately, on average, fistula surgery costs about 30,000 shillings. That's in Kenyatta Hospital. And the reality on the ground is most women cannot be able to afford that. That's it. Another reality is that most insurance providers do not cover for child-related injuries. That's a fact. So you'll find that there's a struggle. Most women cannot afford, they're overwhelmed.
Now, this was reconstructive surgery. After the surgery, physically, did you feel like the old Sharon again?
After the surgery, yes, I did. The surgery was 100% successful. My muscles, I can be here and we are having a conversation and I can hold my urine very comfortably. I can hold my poop in the rectum very comfortably. I can hold for long hours just like all of us can. My life has gone back to normal. I've gone back to work and I'm happy, yeah.
Misconceptions around fistula?
The journey of fistula taught me quite a lot, yeah, because for one, I gave birth in one of the best hospitals in Nairobi. Secondly, I'm an elite. We've gone to school, we've gone to law school, I've gone to law school and all that. I'm a lawyer and all. Then again, back again to getting fistula, which was crazy. Because most of it, if you do a research, and even most of the members of my foundation, most of the beneficiaries of the foundation are poor. Most of them probably gave birth at home, probably did not get proper health care, no midwife, and the like. So it takes me back to the drawing board and I ask why? Why did I have to go through such a process? And I believe that God wanted me to learn and to understand the women and to relate. Yeah, and he gave me a burden to be able to speak about it because most often we live in a cultural society where matter sexuality is not easily talked about.
In terms of future pregnancies, what did the doctor advise in terms of how to carry this pregnancy, how to deliver the child?
Wow, according to my fistula surgeon, in any event that I want another child, I would have to go through cesarean section.
You, as a beacon of hope, having walked this journey, having recovered, what would you like to say to women out there who have walked a similar journey, others who have not recovered, others who might not even be aware that they have fistula?
Yeah, I'd like to encourage them and tell them fistula is treatable. If you're smelling urine or discharging urine uncontrollably, or even there's normally what we call urine incontinence, where when you laugh, you discharge urine. When you cough, you discharge urine. When you're doing your daily work, you discharge urine. That's still fistula. Please get corrective surgery and your life will go back to normal. And then again, I'd like to encourage us that anybody in the office, anybody in your space who's smelling urine, it's not dirty or unkempt, no. She probably just needs information so that she can get corrective surgery. Indeed, it is fistula, yes.
Many thanks for talking to us, Sharon, and for continuing to be a voice for the voiceless.